Welcome to Mommy's Black Book Podcast, the ultimate me time where we spill the tea.
From motherhood to sexcapades and everything in between, grab the wine,
Because it's girl talk time. We're your hosts. I'm Lexi, Lynn.
And I'm Miss Baby May.
All right, Miss May, how was your weekend?
My weekend was wild.
Oh?
It was fun. It was very, very fun.
Do tell.
We were kidless this weekend because
Ooh.
Jay and baby mama have a routine every other week. You know, we don't have kids on the weekend. And then the weekend that they go to their mom's, my son goes to his grandma. So we have kid-free weekends.
Nice.
This weekend I had some friends that threw a product party.
Mm-hmm.
And then just got kind of crazy. Ended up in a couple of threesomes. It was
Oh.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
It was a blast.
You were in
Yeah.
a couple?
Yeah.
Oh.
Me and Jay, my friends.
Nice.
So that was fun.
That is fun.
Crazy.
Another man, another woman.
Another woman.
Oh,
Another
fun.
Yes.
That's exciting. My weekend was not nearly that good. So my gentleman caller that we previously discussed deployed. And freaking homie G was like, haha, bye, I'll see you in a year. And I was like, wait, what?
A whole
And
year?
I was like, is that how long you're going to be gone? And he was like, yeah, well, 11 months. And I was like, shit. Normally it's like 8 weeks. So I was like, bomb, dropped. Okay, I'll see you in a fucking year. Maybe, we'll see what's up in a year. But, so he went out on deployment. So we saw each other on Thursday before he left. And then nothing else really happened over the weekend. Nothing crazy or, wild. We drank a lot, but there's nothing new to that. We drink all the time. I streamed my video game thing, and I was drinking during it, and someone asked me, they go, do you do tequila shots and stream every Friday night? And I just laughed and I said, oh, honey, it's more than just Fridays.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Right? I'm just like, hey, you know what? It's called functioning alcoholism.
Everybody's fine. It's
yes.
Okay.
Everything's fine. I've actually decided that I'm a better parent when I'm mildly intoxicated. We're not talking trashed or anything,
No.
just mildly intoxicated, because I have more patience.
Exactly. It gets you
I'm
on
more
their level.
relaxed.
Gets you on their level.
Yes.
You can relate with them. You can get silly with them.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I feel ya.
Just gotta get a little goofy and just be like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have some laughs right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll all be good, because then you don't pull your brains out. When you pull your brains out, pull your hair out, when, they make you want to blow your brains out.
Yeah.
There's
true.
less of that shenanigans.
Less of
It's
that.
just more relaxation and laughter.
The most important thing, though, is boundaries.
Oh, yes.
Boundaries.
Absolutely. Gotta have them. Kids.
Mm-hmm.
They make me tired.
They make me exhausted.
That's why we gotta
It's
have
funny.
our...
Today was a
mommy time.
particularly rough day.
Yeah?
And
Ooh.
there was just a sequence of events that was just chaotic. It was nothing bad happened. They weren't misbehaving. It was just really, really loud and overwhelming, and everybody was doing different things at the same second. And then just like that, it was over. Yeah. And then Jay and I sat in silence. Just
silence.
I was like, why is they're so exhausting?
My father, when I was a teenager, told me that one day there would be a day when I appreciated silence. And I was like, psh, whatever.
What do you mean?
That's not gonna happen. And this whole conversation started because I like to start my music, my morning with music, like hard music, loud, bam. And he's like, you're gonna outgrow that. So far, I'm 29 and I still haven't made it there. However, I have learned to appreciate silence. I am the weird person who can start my morning at 4 o'clock and be listening to like metal while lifting crazy weights. But at the same time, I've had enough children in my life and wild old people while I was caregiving that I'm just like, oh, a quiet shower. That's nice.
Quiet shower in the dark?
Yes. Joe comes in all the time and is like, why are you in the dark? And I'm like, I can see just fine.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Nice. It's a break.
Right? And I've heard a thing that lighter colored eyes refract more light, and therefore they're more sensitive to things like the sun and all that than like super dark brown, which kind of makes sense. So I was sitting there because he and I will be sitting in the same room in the same light level, and he'd be like, it's so dark in here, and I'm like, I can see just fine. What's wrong with you? And so I'm like, I wonder if that plays into there.
My husband has always mentioned, like, he has really, really light blue eyes. And he's always like, people with blue eyes can see in the dark. Whatever, Jay. It's true, though. He has the best night vision. It blows my mind.
I can see really well in the dark. I'm like, what do you mean you can't see? There's shit over there.
No, we like to go night walking. It's like our thing.
Moon.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun. But like, he takes me to the forest where it's pitch black, and like I'm panicking, holding on to the back of his shirt, and he's like, just relax, your eyes will be fine in a minute, you're not blind. But I feel blind, like I can't see anything.
That's funny. Night walks in the forest.
Yeah.
Huh? Mm-hmm. Steamy.
Oh, very.
Oh my goodness. That reminds me of an incident.
Oh, really?
Yes. So there was one day that I was picking my husband up from work, and I was feeling frisky all day long. I was so mad that he was at work that day because I was like, I need some action like 5 minutes ago. What the hell? It was one of those days. So I decided that I was going to wear my cute little lacy bra underneath this really low-cut top to go and pick him up. And so then when he gets in the car, he's like, are you not wearing a bra? And I was like, and I jiggled my tits at him.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah, jiggled my goodies at him, and he goes, oh, you are. But it's not a supportive bra. He got all excited. And so I was like, yeah. And then we drove away a little bit away from the building, and it's dark outside. So I just whipped the buttons open. And so it's one of those ones that it's got the little pocket in front. So from the pocket up, it buttons.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like one of the hoodie t-shirts,
Yeah.
So I unbutton it so that it's all the way unbuttoned down to the freaking top of the pocket, and my tits are just out.
Hello.
Yeah. So we're driving down the freaking road, and he's like fondling my boobs and all that. And I decide that I'm not gonna wait for us to get home. So I pull off on a side road off the highway because he works the next town over, so we have to freaking pull off on this side street. And he's like, where are we going? And I was like, I know a spot. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yes. And we're driving, and I felt like we were driving for freaking ever. Okay, I was like, I didn't realize this road was so long. What the flying fuck? Because we have to get all the way to the end of it, because there's like this hiking trail head at the end of the road that I know of. So, and to reference, it's at the end of the road that my sister used to live off of.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, not to disclose disclose locations.
Oh.
But yes, you know. Mm-hmm. So anyway, freaking, we get to the trailhead, and I hop over into his side of the car. We get our business on, and it ends up to the point where the door is open, and he's got me bent over the passenger seat, and like we're not even fully in the car anymore. Like, it got intense out on the side of the fucking hiking trailhead. And then we finish up, and I climb. It's so dark.
Wait, what time of day was this, or night?
It was like, oh god, 10:30. It was late, and it was during the winter season, so it was dark.
Okay,
it was pitch ass black. It had been dark since like 4 p.m. kind of deal. And so we finish up, and it's too dark for me to see my way around the front of the car to get back in the driver's seat. So I climb back in, and I climb back over into the driver's seat, and then we drive home. And the next day I go to leave the house, and the seats were muddy.
Oh no.
From where I had climbed over and gotten back in the car, because this is the Pacific Northwest and it fucking rains everywhere.
Well, that's
oh my
fun.
Goodness.
That's really fun.
Oh. So you had threesomes this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
So, have you and your husband always been open?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, we have always been open.
Oh.
We were founded on the basis of an open relationship.
Okay.
I think I mentioned before, I was actually with another woman who was also an open relationship when I met my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I met him, I was very transparent, full disclosure, no surprises. Like, I'm poly, I'm bi, like, I love everybody. I'm not gonna limit myself to one person,
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that, and he was like, no, I get it. That makes sense. So before even we were, like, official, we already had that understanding. And then after we started dating, like, for real,
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't about until 9 months later that I started really feeling the need to start exploring more.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I brought that to his attention, because when we first started dating, he was like, well, if you ever feel that way in our relationship, please let me know, talk about it, and then we'll talk about, like, exploring. Well, we had reached that point, so of course I was, like, nervous to talk to him about it, Like, I didn't want him to have those feelings of, like, inadequacy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm not enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't. Like, he's really understanding. He fills my buckets. So
That's good.
mm-hmm.
Did he, when you guys like started dating, did he want to go out and explore anything, or was that just him being like, was he just supportive of the fact that you already had that lifestyle and not gonna shut it down?
He was really supportive and understanding, and
Mm-hmm.
like, he wasn't necessarily out looking for anything else because I fulfilled his needs, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But he's always open to the idea. I mean, obviously, like, we're like swingers,
Yeah.
And we have the freedom to go out and, like, play with like, without each other, like,
Mm-hmm.
within reason, but we just don't. Like, we have more fun when we play together.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool in our dynamic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, Joe and I, we didn't start out open.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-mm. It was a little bit of a stressful entry into openness for us, because he knew from the very beginning of meeting me that my moral compass didn't exactly point north, because he met me while I was technically still married and hooking up with his roommate. And he knew that I was married because his roommate, himself, and myself were all hanging out one day, and a zombie apocalypse got brought up. Because, zombies, they were the big craze all through that time. Anyway, so zombie apocalypse gets brought up, and the fact that they knew how to pack their own ammo got brought up.
Oh.
And that one of their grandfathers had lots of guns got brought up. So I was like, when the zombie apocalypse does happen, this is where I'm coming. I'm bringing my little baby and we're coming here. Mm-hmm. And so the roommate friend that I had been hooking up with goes, yo, I'm all cool with that, but don't bring your baby daddy. And I was like, psh, I ain't bringing that fool. Fuck that shit. He can fight his own goddamn zombies. Hell no. And then, so roommate, now my husband, looks over and goes, baby daddy, who's that? And I was like, technically still my effing husband. And he was like, wait, you're married? And he goes, I was like, yeah. And he goes, does he know that you're here? And I said, yeah. And he goes, what? And I was like, technically on paper we're still married, but we broke up a couple of months ago. We still live together, but you know what? I don't give 2 fucks.
I'ma do me.
Yeah, I was like, this is my fucking time. He's got the kiddo. This is me time. Fuck him. Yep. And so he knew from the moment he met me, because that was one of the first conversations we ever had, that my moral compass was a little skewed. But I didn't realize, because I've had problems in my first marriage, you know, like it ended because I cheated. Terrible me. I cheated not with just anyone. I cheated with my ex-husband's coworker, whom he had an immediate relation with. They worked same department, and they had to work together the next day.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's a whole nother story.
That's exciting.
That's a different story. But yeah. So freaking you know, not exactly. I had problems in that relationship. I had tried taking it into the direction of, you know, let's have threesomes and stuff, because I was really unhappy. I was really unsatisfied. And so I thought when I got into this relationship, because after my marriage, I didn't care. Wasn't trying to have a relationship. And so when I got into this relationship, because I actually cared about the person and I was really happy, I didn't think that was going to be an issue. So we got married and everything was all going great. But then it got to the point where we weren't meshing as well on a sexual level. And it was primarily out of stress. And so then we had thrown around a lot of, you know, really wild talk in the bedroom and stuff like that, throwing out the idea of threesomes and things like that during, you know, naughty talk. Mm-hmm. But I got to the point where I was not satisfied enough. And I was looking at a coworker. I was caregiving at the time, and I was looking at a coworker. And
I just want to point out, CNAs are some of the horniest people I've ever met.
Oh my god! So this male coworker, one of the only male coworkers we had, everybody thought he was hot. Okay, well, yes. It wasn't just me. He was a very attractive young Hispanic man, like young compared to the grand scheme of life, my age bracket. Okay. So I was like, the only thing stopping me from trying to jump his bones in the supply closet is the fact that 1, he's in a relationship, and 2, I'm married, and I actually like love my husband this time. So maybe I shouldn't do that. But it was getting really hard. So I went home one day and I was like, I have to talk to you about something. And I was like completely and utterly terrified, because I knew it was to the point where I was like, I'm either going to have this conversation and it's either going to go fine or end my marriage, or I'm not going to have this conversation and I'm going to cheat and I'm going to end my marriage.
Right.
So I was like, I'm just going to have a conversation. So I sit him down and talk to him, and I tell him that I'm having a really hard time with, not straying. And so I ask him if we can start exploring, some of the naughty fantasies that we had thrown out. And, wine sip, sorry. And he was like, okay, sure, we can do that. And so I started going on to different platforms, websites, things like that, exploring what was out there. And originally we had like rules, and it was very structured. Like one of them was no kissing and stuff like that. And we got involved with someone. There was a man that I started talking to, and he was explaining his situation. He was married in a very sexless marriage, and so he was looking to, find someone to have an affair with and explore some of the things that he wasn't getting. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be opposed to that. So we met up, and he and I hooked up, the other guy, while Joe watched. And then it ended up, I think, the next time that we met up with this individual, we had a threesome, and they tag teamed me, and that was fun.
Yes.
I gave this guy his first anal experience, which was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And so we were involved for a little bit, and then I think his wife found out. He had taken some pictures of me. He was an amateur photographer.
So he wasn't open with his wife.
No, he was not open. He was having, he was having an affair.
An actual affair. Okay.
Yeah, he was, I don't know what he was telling his wife. Not my business, not my problem. But he was booking places for us to stay. Not hotels either, like nice Airbnbs. He made money. He worked for Xbox.
Oh.
He worked for Xbox Tech Production.
Okay,
so he had money. Not that that mattered. I didn't know that until after I was hooking up with him anyway. But so we were getting nice places. He rented an entire 2-story cabin the first time that we met up. And he did that not knowing whether or not we were actually going to go hook up or anything, because we went over, we met halfway between our two locations at a little coffee bar that also served like mimosas and stuff. So we had a couple of mimosas, and felt if the chemistry was there and all that. I was like, we've been talking online for a couple months, but
like, how you know unless you're meeting somebody.
Yeah, so we met up and the chemistry was there. So we went back to this place, and we all had our fun. And that was our first encounter in that nature, not only as an open couple, but in like a threesome setting or anything like that. And it was a lot of fun for me.
Of course.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah, I'm totally down to do this anytime.
Give me the attention.
Right? But I'm pretty sure that his wife found out, because at one point I got this really weird email, because we only ever exchanged emails. We didn't exchange phone numbers. But he was an amateur photographer, and he had taken a picture of me on his camera. And I still have the picture. It was a beautiful picture, because I was like laying on the bed, and I was all happy and smiling, and like half wrapped in the sheet,
Aww.
And it's done in black and white, and gorgeous freaking picture. I'll show you. And the only thing I could think is that she found the emails, or she found the picture or something, because I got this really weird random email from someone I didn't know, And I just got this gut feeling. I was like, this is his wife. It's gotta be. And then I never heard from him again. And I was like, all right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, no idea what the hell happened there.
It was an experience.
But I was like, hey, you know what? So long as no detectives show up and question me on my whereabouts on a certain night, because I didn't do shit. I don't know nothing.
Right?
But, like, fuck, man.
Dang.
I'm innocent. I just had an affair. But, yeah, that was a couple years ago, and it's been open since.
So, question. How has being open affected your relationship?
It has actually made it stronger, in my opinion. Yeah. There's more trust there. I have no worry in my heart that my husband will have an affair. Like, because it is, even though we're open, it is still possible to cheat.
Oh, yeah,
you just have to lie.
That's it.
The second
the violation of trust, that's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Because if you're going off and doing things and you're being open about it, communicating, you're going to build that bond.
Yeah.
Right? And if you violate that, then, well.
It's, sneaking around and violating that trust, and that's the deal breaker, you know?
Especially because there's, like, no reason you should be lying.
Exactly.
There's no reason.
Exactly. There's absolutely no reason in any way, shape, or form for that to occur. So it has made it stronger. There's no fear in my heart that, you know, someone's gonna be sneaking around behind my back doing anything, because we can talk to each other about it. Like, freaking, I can go through his phone, he can go through my phone. We can. There's no secrets.
Yeah.
No secrets at all, and it's freaking great.
Definitely have to agree with you there.
Yeah.
Me and my husband, we I don't know, we're best friends and we're so secure. Like, there's nothing that could get in between us.
Yeah.
I don't think.
He, like, people, I guess, will ask him, you're not worried about your wife going off and, you know, fucking around with other dudes? And he's like, no, because she's not going to go anywhere. And they're like, well, how the fuck do you know? And apparently his response is, because where in the fuck is my slut-ass wife gonna find another man that's gonna let her hoe around the way that I do?
Exactly.
And I was like, yeah, baby. I was like, if you and I ever get a divorce, Mama's not getting married again. Yeah. I'ma just be a free spirit.
Just be a hoe. But why not? Why just be a hoe when you can be a married hoe?
Right?
Like, it's the best of everything.
That's the MILF hoe.
Legit.
MILF hoe.
Life.
Yes. Oh my god. Freaking. But it also, okay, so secret. It also feeds into his kinks, though.
Okay, so I'm curious. Does he have a cuck kink?
He likes to watch.
So do I. I'm a cuck queen. Very much so.
He loves to watch. He also is into interracial. I mean, I love me some, you know, delicious, you know, Hispanic man or a black man, or, you know. But he really likes it when I am with a black man.
Okay.
So he's like, if I can watch, like, if we can, it's hard to find someone who's comfortable just letting someone watch.
That's one of the biggest things that we found.
When you can find that individual, you know, he'd love to be the fucking fly on the wall. He loves being the fly on the wall. And then freaking, he also likes getting pictures and videos and things like that. He doesn't even necessarily have to know. He doesn't have to know ahead of time.
Just as long as it's just like a little something.
Yeah,
surprise.
I'll tell him afterwards or whatever. Or, like, I'll be like, here's a picture. And he's like, oh, what? So, like, last time that my gentleman caller was here, he asked me, because hubby had run off to the store and he came over while he was gone, and my husband came home while we were in the bedroom, and I mean, in the middle of it too. Like, not even.
Hello.
It was loud. And we're just going at it. And we finished, and I thought that I had heard him come home. And so I go to look out the window, and his car is out in the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh. And so my gentleman caller goes, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, my husband's home." And he goes, "Oh, is he going to be mad that I'm here?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "He knows that you're here." I was like, "But even if he didn't, and he were to catch us, he'd be like, 'Oh, someone's having fun, I see.'" And we just laughed, and we both were like, "Maybe." Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely, it helps because he has that kink and that fetish and stuff. And there's a lot of things that, surprisingly, being open, we still haven't even gotten to explore.
Right? There's so many possibilities out there, man.
Yeah. I still have not gotten to, like, fully be with a woman.
Oh, really?
We haven't had a threesome with another woman.
Really?
So that's one of the only ways that I think it is the only way that he'll be comfortable being with another woman outside of our relationship. Because we've talked about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not something that he is seeking. And I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. He's perfectly fine with me doing it. But he's just like, unless you initiate it and unless you bring the other woman in, I'm not even going to go there. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Preferences.
Yeah. But just the opportunity hasn't arisen. Women have a tendency to stand bitches up.
That is true.
Yes.
I have encountered that.
Many stand-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay.
Well then, all right.
Right? I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
even if nothing happened, we could have been friends.
Right?
But whatever, bitch.
Your loss.
I'm supposed to, fingers crossed I don't get stood up, have a coffee date with a lady this weekend. I'm hoping.
Good luck. That's exciting.
Yes. We've been talking for only a few days, but she's kind of hot.
Good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
So, how about you and your relationship? You feel like it's stronger?
Absolutely. Like I said, when we started the relationship, we were very open to begin with. And he told me, like, if you ever have those feelings, please come to me. Because, like, he had just gotten out of a really awful 8-year sexless relationship. So he knew what it was like to feel tied down and, like, not have those buckets filled, so
I
to
could
speak.
not be in a sexless relationship.
No, absolutely not.
I couldn't.
It's impossible to put that much pressure on another person to fulfill every single one of your needs. That's
Right.
not fair to them. It's not fair. I don't...
Even if you're a vanilla person, you're gonna have different times in your life where even not sexually, you need something from another person.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, oh my God, you had an emotional affair because you had an emotional connection with another person.
It's not a bad thing.
And I don't think that that's fair.
No, not at all.
I've been in love with other people while married.
Oh yeah, that's totally possible though.
I'm just like, why? There was a movie, okay, so for people who are like confused as to the whole like you can be in love with more than one person at a time, I don't remember what this movie was, but there was a movie where this woman was, maybe it wasn't a movie, maybe it was a docuseries, I don't know. This woman was in a relationship, and I think maybe the man was going to get married to another woman or something, I don't know. And the way that they explained it was that when you have your first child, your heart explodes with more love than you could possibly imagine. And when you have your second child, your heart explodes with more love than you could possibly imagine, but your love for your first child doesn't diminish, your heart grows.
Right.
And I think that's the best way to describe it.
No, it's a
is your love doesn't diminish, your heart grows.
Exactly. I have always felt, and this is exactly how I approached the subject with my husband, was like, I feel I have so much love in my heart that why would I be selfish and give it to only one person. You know, there's so many beautiful people out in this world. Why should I only have to pick one person?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Share the love.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even have to be anything crazy.
No.
Doesn't. So, we got our first email submission.
I'm very excited.
It is a little interesting. I'm going to paraphrase because it's super long, and it's technically 2 stories.
Okay.
But it is a virginity story. So, these are supposed to be anonymous, so I'm not going to shout out the username. Username so-and-so says. No. Anonymous stories. So this is the story of my first time. It was technically with the babysitter, but I didn't really feel like I needed one because I was 13, about to be 14. My dad was out of town. My siblings were at their friend's house, and it was just me and the sitter at the house. We were conversing, and it was getting late when I mentioned my dad would be back. She said it wasn't an issue since they were neighbors, and we could just crash there. At this point, it's around 4:30 or 5, and I made a joke. If my dad doesn't come home, I might end up cuddling with you. And she said, yeah, like you would know what to do with a woman in bed. Which, I gotta say, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Sidebar. Creeper! And, okay, lost my place. So jokingly, I replied, try me and find out. And she looks at me and says, your dad would kill me. And so I said, I won't tell if you won't. And she proceeded to come over and ask me if I'd ever touched a book before and if I wanted to touch hers. And I nodded, so she put my hands under her shirt and allows me to feel her up. So after a little bit, we ended up going up to the bedroom, and okay, where am I at? Sorry, this email is weirdly written. Oh, she calls me in and asks me if I want to feel how wet she was, and then I ask if she wants to have sex with me. She gets my pants off, and the tip of my dick goes in her, and someone knocks on the door. We quickly redress, and she goes to answer the door, and it was my siblings coming back from their friend's house, so we couldn't continue our fun and never got the chance to finish the job, so to speak. I had blue balls for a week because of that. The next time I actually had sex and did the deed, not just the tip, was with my sister's friend, and I was 17. She was spending the night with us at our mom's house, and it was the first time meeting this girl, and we literally spent the whole day flirting back and forth. After everyone went to bed, she came to my brother's room and asked me if I wanted to continue hanging out, and I said, yeah. So to keep the noise down, we went to the garage. When we got out there, she kissed me. I kissed her back, and she put her hand down my pants. From there, I'm kissing her and fingering her, and things start getting louder. So we go out to the shed where there's a couch, and I put on my condom, and she goes, hurry up and fuck me, I've been waiting all day, which shocked me, I'm not gonna lie. So I put the condom on, guided myself into her, and then after about a minute, I came.
Oh no!
I told her it was my first time coming. I only had one condom, so we didn't get to go again like I wanted, but we spent the rest of the night cuddling till the sun rose, and we had to go back to our rooms so we wouldn't get lectured.
That's great.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Freaking
great.
Hilarious. I love that first one is like creepy predator.
Yeah, right?
Like, that's just
some babysitter king.
Yeah. Babysitter weirdness. Not not chill with that. That's just creepy. If you're babysitting, don't try to screw the kids you're babysitting. That's probably not kosher.
The parents, on the other hand, go for it.
You know, you can bang their parents as long as you're of age.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, no one underage should be listening to this podcast, but...
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Freaking, if you're over 18 and you want to bang the parents...
Do it.
That's a whole different story.
You know what's funny? So, my husband and I do porn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And our very first video was a babysitter video.
Nice. Was it with a real babysitter?
No.
Or was
I
it
was the babysitter.
Yeah.
And he was the dad that came home and caught me messing around and was like, well, girl, you need to, show me that you want this job. How are you going to keep this job, right?
Oh my goodness.
So we do it, and it's our most popular
So
video.
did the dad catch you, like, masturbating or something?
Yeah, he walked in, and I was, like, on my phone, all, like, 18-year-old looking cute, smoking weed, and he was like, what the fuck are you doing in my house smoking weed? I saw your boyfriend leave the house. What are you doing? This whole role play, it's adorable.
Nice. I love it. Freaking, I've tiptoed. Yes, tiptoed down that road in various avenues before. Not super successful at it, but it's so much work than people freaking think about. And I'm just like getting people to coordinate with each other and follow through on the plan and be comfortable with the plan. I'm just like, oh hell, man, that's so much work.
It's a full-time job. 100%.
Oh, I fully could see that.
But it's worth it.
Well, you're getting lots of dick.
Yeah, I'm a happy girl.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where do you, like, meet people to coordinate? How do you, is it like friends that you're comfortable with? Or do you?
A lot of them are friends.
Yeah. I know one of them.
Yes, you do.
She's told me a couple
so
stories.
So you do know. Okay.
I do know.
I'm blushing.
She told me I wasn't allowed to hit on you. That was so before you came over to do the first pure romance party, because she knows how I am. She was like, and please don't hit on the hostess. And I looked at her and I said, is she your lady friend? Is it her and her husband? And she goes, yeah. She even made that little puppy face. Yeah. Please don't hit on my friend. She was like, I'm more into her than her husband, but don't hit on my friend, please. And I was like, fine, I won't hit on your friend. And then after you left, I was like, God damn you, because I want to hit on your friend.
We can be flirty friends. Yes.
My tits are bound to come out at some point.
That's fine. I hate wearing clothes, so if I'm in good
company.
Dude,
I hate wearing clothes myself.
I hate it.
They're terrible. My poor husband, he has to deal with days where I'm practically in tears because I have to get dressed. And he's like, it's one of those days. And I'm like, yes, it's one of those days. Fabric is touching my shoulders and I can't handle it.
You know why, though? It's because clothes aren't natural.
Right? I'm natural. Like, why in the fuck did we start making clothing? I mean, I get in certain places, the climates, it's cold. Right. But you know what? If we had listened to our bodies, we wouldn't live in those climates.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Body hair's there for a reason.
Right? I want to retire to a nudist community.
Me too. Did you know there's one actually a couple hours away?
Yes.
Like a nudist beach.
But I was looking at it and it said that it was a family
and that's
spot.
The only reason we haven't gone yet.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so I have no problems with nudity. But once you start bringing children into the mix, this is not the culture for that.
Yeah,
this is not the place for it. Adults, nudist beach, fine.
How about it?
Who cares? And if your country is a culture where from birth everyone in the community grows up in the nudist community, yes, that's also one thing. But when you say family nudist beach in the U.S., I think of Predators.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just like, hell no.
That. It's not okay.
No, I'm like, this is not the you know, that culture. This is not that section of the world.
Yeah, you know, I had this conversation with somebody one day, and they straight up were like, well, why are you sexualizing children? And I was like, I'm not. Like, I'm not at all. I'm sorry. I will not bring my children to a nudist beach. No, absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
Some people, man.
It's not... I'm not sexualizing children. I'm worried that someone else is going to.
Exactly.
It's concern for my children.
It's an unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure those beaches are safe and whatever guidelines they have in place or whatever, but, like, you never know. You never know.
Everybody is freaked out about the predators that are registered, and I feel you should be freaked out about the ones that aren't.
Exactly.
The ones you don't know about.
Because the ones that are caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're not risks, but, you know, yeah. It's just not, it's an unnecessary risk factor in a culture that's not used to that type of thing.
Especially now, times are so weird. People are just fucking losing their minds.
Seriously.
People are going off their rockers.
People try to kidnap babies out of shopping carts right in front of their parents now. It's crazy.
This world is a scary place.
Right? This podcast took a weird turn.
Yeah, it did. You
That's
never know what you're gonna get.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those days.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. All right. Well, it has been wonderful chatting with you, Miss May.
Yes,
I love your stories.
Yours too, man.
I hope everyone has enjoyed listening tonight to our lovely podcast.
Lots of juicy stuff, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, good one.
I hope people enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Follow if you do. Please send stories.
Yeah, send me your stories. I want to read them.
Yes, they're interesting. They make us laugh. It provides good entertainment. You can email them in at mommysblackbookpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Mommy's Black Book Podcast. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Bye.